Three flyaways. I mean, for us as riders, it's quite difficult because we're quite hard working through all the weekend with the bike, and we don't have that long to recover. I mean, you have Monday, Tuesday, and then you fly straight to the next circuit to get everything ready for the next weekend. You make all the practice, the race, and then you have again Monday, Tuesday to recover. So it's quite difficult for us to get recovered and ready for the next race because all back to back. And I mean, if you get ill or something like this in the first race, it's gonna take a lot longer to recover. And I mean, also last year when I broke my wrist in Phillip Island, I lost this race, and then also because Japan was so close, I didn't have no time to recover. So it's very important when you have three back-to-back races to try and bring back some good points. Japan GP for me was a little bit difficult because the past few races we've been struggling to find rear grip. And in Motegi you need to have quite a lot of rear grip to get out of the slow corners. But we was a little bit up and down through the weekend, and we thought for the race would be not bad, but I started to make a lot of mistakes. Like I couldn't stop the bike so good in turn 1 and turn 3 and kept going a little bit deep. So I lost quite a lot of time to the other guys by making really small mistakes. So the race wasn't too bad, but it wasn't where I should be. I should be a little bit close to the other open Hondas. Yeah, after Japan GP, we moved on to Australia, Phillip Island, one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. And it was a good weekend. I know I had to try and turn things around a bit because we've been struggling to try and beat the other open Hondas, and now was the time I had to try and work and get it a bit more. And it was an interesting track with the MotoGP bike really fast down to turn 1, and with the wind and stuff makes a big difference with more speed. And the race went really well actually, apart from a mistake I made going down to turn 4. I almost hit the back of Hernandez, and then I had to come back, and I was 4 seconds behind the other open guys. I managed to catch him, overtake him. Then I was battling with Alvaro and Barbara for a bit. Managed to make a 1 second gap, but then slowly they started to catch me a little bit, and we had a fight to the end, and I overtook Barbara and Bautista the last lap, but they both passed me over the finish line. Now we're here in Malaysia, taking it easy, as you can see. It's one of those circuits which is quite difficult for a lot of riders because of the weather, also the track feeling, but we was testing the beginning of the year 2 times, so it'll be the first time I have a little bit of data feedback. But for me, I don't know if it's going to be much use because we've developed so much over the year with my riding style and how I use with the bike. So it'll be interesting to get out and do a first few laps, see how the feeling is, because here it's completely different to Phillip Island. Championship wise for me was the beginning of the year was to be the first open Honda, and we managed to do that. Halfway through the year, start to lead the open Hondas, and now there's only 7 points between me and Hiroshi. He made a great race in Motegi, and I didn't make such a good race. I didn't score any points, so this is where he closed the gap to me. But we have 2 races to go, and I still think we can do it. We have to keep trying and keep pushing because this was the target at the beginning of the season. So we have 2 races to go in the championship, Sepang and Valencia. So we need to work hard to finish on a good level at the end of the season, but the most exciting thing for me is to go with the test in the days after Valencia race with the factory Honda MotoGP bike, because this is what I've been wanting to ride, because this year the open Honda wasn't as good as I expected. So with the factory Honda, I think can be a lot closer to the fronter guys, and I just want to see the difference between the 2 bikes because the power is not so high, but we have the soft tyre. But in places like Phillip Island, we use the same tyre as the factory guys, so we was also quite close. So it'll be quite interesting to see what the difference is. Also, I'll be changing from Showa suspension to Öhlins and from Nissan brakes to Brembo, so more something I'm comfortable with. So this could also make a small difference. So when we get to Valencia, it'll be nice to see what the difference will be and to see where I can be for next year. Also in Valencia, I'll be looking forward to working with the new crew back at BDS, back where I feel very welcome and comfortable. But I'm not going to have the same guys I had before. It's going to be different people around. But the good thing is the main language they speak is English, which is good for communication and stuff and that. So this is what I'm really looking forward to, is to get back and feel comfortable with the guys around me. And my crew chief next year will be Chris Pike. I don't really know him that well from my side, but I heard many good things about him. He's well respected in World Superbike and also well respected from Honda. And for me, I think it will be a nice challenge for me and him to work together. I mean, you see with Rossi and his crew chief, he was from Superbike and they make a good job. So there's no reason why Chris can't do the same thing. You know, I think he's a hard worker and I think he's very intelligent in the job he does. So I'm looking forward to have another new guy to work with who I think really wants to push for the rider to have a great result. Keep up with all the latest news with me from this season and also next season by logging into Bike Social.